Stop the cap.
You're young and you're black. It doesn't get easier. If anything, it gets more difficult. And the more convictions you get, the more you're shooting yourself in the foot. So get a grip and do something with your life. Look at him. He's freaking amazing. I'm telling you, that's what life's about. Having money and having swagger. Because without money in this life, I'm going to tell you, this life really, really sucks. And if you don't have money and you trying to have a wife and kids, please. That's why this divorce rate is so high, because people ain't got no money. All they do is have babies without money. So all they do is fight. This life is about knowledge and about money, not being 6 feet under. Look, you think your mom wants to be here? You think she doesn't have other things to do than to be here?
There's two type of men that Six the Goddess doesn't mess around with, and that is, or those are, um, black men who interracially date. She doesn't fool with them, and she also doesn't fool with black men that are not respected by other black men. That's one of the things, one of the criteria that she has stated in the past. It's like, if I find out that other men don't mess with you, I'm not going to mess with you. That was like, one of her big statements. And I'm going to tie that back to this general complaint that I hear coming from I don't know if it's the black divestors or the women that come over on this channel, right? They think that they're making a point. They think that they're like cursing me out and telling me something. And quite often, these women don't realize how bad they make themselves look, right? It's funny how, in one breath, women have all the power. Women, we're feminist or we're matriarchs or whatever. And we're making all these decisions. And like I said in my post that I made on my community tab, they can never be held accountable for their decisions. They always have to structure things like, the only reason I'm in the driver's seat is because men failed. Not because I like to drive, not because I want power, not because I wanted to be in control myself for, their own individual purposes. No, it's because men failed. And this is a convenient way for women who want to, be in leadership positions like Mickey Mouse and Fantasia. It's a convenient way for them. It would be like Mickey Mouse saying, well, I wouldn't have grabbed the wizard's hat had the wizard not left his hat around. It was irresponsible for the wizard to leave his hat around, so don't blame me for all the mops, walking around and flooding the place. That's what women do, right? Women will fight you for the driver's seat. You say, okay, fine, you drive. You go to sleep in the passenger seat. You wake up, both of you are lost. She's like somewhere by the Canadian border. You're like, what the hell? You know what I mean? She's like, well, had you not fallen asleep, we wouldn't have got lost. Or, if you knew how to drive, the only reason I'm driving is because you don't have a license or your license is suspended, right? Like these sorts of talking points, and it's always set up to where she can absolve herself of the consequences of her decisions. So women only make decisions when men, are not leaders, or men are not in a position, to steer the ship, right? Which, ironically, I'm like, well, doesn't that support patriarchy? Right? See, what they do, they don't believe in patriarchy, but what they do is they use the standards of patriarchy to mock men. That's what they do. Okay, Mr. Patriarch. Well, then go on and patriarch then, right? Like, that's the type of argument that they make. And one of the things that I've recognized is these type of black women are very much like white supremacists. Again, it's that audacity to be surprised, right? Like, white supremacy has done, like, if you just look at the history of America, you got slavery, then you got, Jim Crow, redlining, blockbusting, the denial of the Homestead Act, denial of Social Security for the first 20 years, Jim Crow, eminent domain, urban renewal, convict leasing, debt peonage, 1955 Highway Commission Act, driving highways through predominantly black communities, the purging of black communities, burning black people, out of communities, running them out of town due to some false accusation of a rape and or assault or a murder, right? And they just go and purge the whole town, right? So every time black people got a foothold and were able to establish something, here comes white people to come in there and dismantle it because they perceive black people, as a threat, right? And that's why when people say, "Oh, you got victim mindset," no, black people are victims because you see them as the enemy, and history proves that, right? But white people have done everything in their power. CIA, Contra, Iran, Contras, dumping drugs in the black community, 1994 crime bill, the war on drugs. They have done everything in their power to disrupt and dismantle the black family. And then they're surprised when they're in Baltimore at the stoplight and they got a 16-year-old tapping their glass talking about get out the car with a gun in their face. Then they're surprised at that. Why are you surprised? You did everything in your power to undermine and dismantle, the appropriate structure, or for black people to have a similar structure to white people. And then you're frustrated at the fact that they don't have the same culture or share the same beliefs when you've cut them off from having the same access to capital and resources. And you're surprised, like the audacity of these people. And I look at a lot of black women that come with this sort of black men have failed and the community is broken. Look, there were black male failures. There were failures in black men not being able to thwart, the system of white supremacy in the face of overwhelming odds. And there was a slow adaptation to where, men just, adapted to, this new ugly reality that they didn't have access to capital. They didn't have access to, the things that they needed. I'm not going to sit there and say that all of that was just black women all by themselves. It wasn't. However, where we are now, like when the women talk about, like I got a woman, she's bitching about, the whole, black boys not being able to read at grade level, or black boys not knowing how to do X, Y, and Z in the community. I'm like, well, did you get with a man that knows how to teach that? Like it's the audacity to be surprised at the outcome when you're not, like, you file all these complaints. I'm with you, but you're producing children with men who can't teach that. And then you pretend like, oh, there's none that exist. No, bullshit. You just don't want them. They don't appeal to you. And I guess we could have conversations about that. I talk about brothers going to the gym and stuff like that. We can have conversations about that, but I don't think that's like that. That's not going to fix the problem. And then you guys got all this other stuff going on in the background where, a guy that does have his shit together, you don't like the power dynamic. So you're like, he ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna go out here and get with this other nigga that thinks I'm pretty or just wants to get some pussy. And then I'm gonna, get him to fuck me with no condom on. And then I get pregnant. And then I'm going to try to, as that woman that was on Cam Newton's show, I'm going to try to fit a square peg in a round hole. I'm going to try to shame him with levels of responsibility that he's never demonstrated, nor have I ever witnessed. And then I'm going to hide behind the standards of patriarchy that I don't even believe him, and charge him, with the crime of not being a real man. Right? Meanwhile, I still got another 18 years to raise this son that I had with this dude. Right. And I'm a woman. I don't know all the ins and outs of being a man and the hierarchies of men and the principles of men. So I can't even really develop him and teach him, how to be, a man. So now, right, if we have an unknown number of black women who are doing this, right, which is a lot, right, because you got to remember, you got freaking 42% of the 61% of black women who are mothers, 42% of those women are becoming mothers under the age, 42% of that 13.4 million are becoming mothers under the age of 20. Under the age of 20, 42%. So, like, these young ladies, they don't know what the hell they're doing. And unfortunately, right, we have so many that operate in that, and we got a handful of older women that do the same thing. You saw this with, Cynthia G. I'm like, why are you having babies by a dude that already has like 5 kids? Rob, right? Same thing with Sierra. You know what I mean? Like, why are you trying to be baby mama number 4? I think she was baby mama number 4, number 5. I'm like, and Future's got 8 children, I think. Somebody correct me on that because I've been trying to figure out how many children Future has, and 1 minute it's 8, next minute it's 10. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the numbers are. Um, but I'm saying, like, the part that gets me, right, and you got to think about like how this, like, why this doesn't hit for me, why it doesn't connect, because I'm a childless man. Like, I didn't sleep with the dude. Like, there's men going back to, Six the Goddess and her litmus test. She's like, I don't respect black men that other black men don't respect. They got their own hierarchies. And if other men don't respect you, I damn sure can't respect you because there's something wrong there. That's what she uses as her litmus test. She don't know the ins and outs of every aspect of what men do and how they function and how we rank each other and whatnot. But she's like, the territory that I'm not 100% familiar with, I'm gonna leave that up to the fellas. If these other dudes don't fuck with you, I'm not gonna fuck with you. Okay? And that's not what black women out here do. They do that whole trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, and they go out here and they end up having babies by guys that can't teach anything, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, there's certain guys that you'll see as a black man. You'll look at a guy and you'll be like, man, he ain't got nothing going on. You know what I mean? Like, you looking at him, you're like, man, ain't no way, ain't no chick gonna find this dude attractive. Like hell no. Like, even if he's decent looking, you're thinking, okay, he's a good looking guy. Maybe a chick will go out there and fuck him, or you can see that. But you're like, have his baby? You gonna have his baby? This nigga? You gonna have his baby, right? Then y'all go off and then you have the baby, right? And there's so many of you in the community that repetitively, do this type of shit. And now we got, a disproportionate community of sons that don't have fathers that have the capability, the capacity, the wherewithal in order to teach the boys what they need so that the boys developed into the next generation of men that actually can build and maintain and defend and have a sense of pride of the community and all that, right? And then you get mad, and I'm like, who you mad at? Why are you over here bitching to me because I basically identified much of these problems and called them out? Like, what the fuck are y'all heifers doing? Why are you mad at me? I'm like, I didn't sleep with the nigga. You did. I didn't get pregnant by the nigga. You did. I'm sitting here still bewildered at the fact that I'm like, damn, like, this motherfucker didn't have X, Y, and Z. And I mean, you just let him just nut all up in you. And then you carried his baby for 9 months. And then some of you all, not only did you let the dusty nigga nut all up in you, then you went and had a second baby. And then y'all have the audacity to come online when we're talking about the matriarchy and all these problems, right? You have the audacity to say, no, it's black men, and look at the crime in the community, and look at this, and look at that, and look at the violence in the community, and black women are killed every 5.5 hours, da, 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 da. Like, y'all haven't contributed heavily to that shit. You brought all these young boys into the world. All these youngins that are running around, shooting the place up, carjacking, home invasions, robberies, pistol whipping bitches and everything else. You brought them into the world. And this goes back to, I don't know if it was Divine Brown or if it was Shay Sharday. One of them basically pointed out that, like, there is a low-key competition between black women and other races of women. And black women kind of, feel ashamed at the fact that they can't produce what other races of women are producing. They can't, what comes out of their womb doesn't develop into the type of men that you see in other communities, builders, shakers, movers, people that start banks and Fortune 500 companies. They can't seem to create that, right? This is the intellectual black woman, argument. And I'm like, but what's so wild is, okay, let's go with the idea that you can't create that. But the other groups operate in a patriarchy. The other groups do not diminish the role of a capable man to mentor and teach us. They don't interfere with that. You all are so, trying to eliminate the quote unquote patriarchy, that you go off and you got all these magical ideas. You go off and you think that you're going, you're like the female sex. You go off and you're trying to raise your boy to be better for the matriarchy. All that does is 9 times out of 10 he turn him into a zesty and saucy nigga. You know what I mean? You in there in the church by yourself, and he's up there being a choir boy, and then a couple years later you find out he's on some I'm not gays no more. You know what I mean? Like, this is the type of shit that y'all do. He either goes down the saucy route or he goes down the crash out route. And then y'all sit there and you come to the conversations on my page talking about you black men. I ain't gotten pregnant by any of these dusty niggas. You did. You did. You was over there sucking and fucking and riding his dick and everything. You did that. I didn't do that. Why are you running over here charging that shit to me? And again, we have 61% of the black community are mothers. That's 13.4 million mothers. We have 46% of black men that are fathers. That's 9.2 million black fathers. Black fathers has not surpassed 50% since the last, CDC report from 2006. I don't know what it was before that, but it hasn't surpassed that. You all, so we have a 4.3 million parental gap. These are the numbers. You all are bitching and saying the same old talking points, like as though we don't have the numbers right now. And now, because the numbers aren't in your favor, you think that you're just going to be able to keep repeating and echoing these talking points. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Sorry, there's way more mothers than there are fathers. What are you all doing? What are you doing to control your reproduction? Why are you having babies? Look, I can't stop you from fucking whoever you want to fuck. I'm not arguing that, right? You find a dude sexy, you want to sit on it, go ahead and sit on it. I just don't understand why the babies by men that don't have resources or skills or capabilities or any of these things. I don't know why you all are laying up with them. Why are you laying up? Well, I don't get it. Why are you having these, not laying up with them. Why specifically are you having their babies? Why is that happening? Right? And again, I already know that women, having a baby is a rite of passage, and you got women out here, they just want the baby. They don't care about the community or anything else. They just want the baby. And these low vibrational type of black men, I mean, them motherfuckers are prime real estate. They're the perfect dudes to get with. The perfect dudes to get with. Because the women can go and they can get with them and they can, have, as many babies as they want with them. And, you got women with all type of emotional, psychological damage. They want somebody to love them. They have all type of reasons they want to become a mother. And they go off and they do that. And then we end up with all these children that have, that come from homes with no resources, no support system, no guidance, and primarily I'm talking about the boys here. You got black women running around. Like that woman told me years ago, my daughter will be president and my son will be a good black man. Like, he didn't even get a title. She had all these ambitions for her daughter, but no ambitions for her son. She just expected her son to be a good black man. What does that mean? What does that mean? He's going to be like a servant to the matriarchy. What does that mean? And we have all these women who think like this, and just like white people, you do all this damage. You do all these stupid things, all these dumbass decisions, right? And then you have the audacity to be surprised at the outcome. I'm like, like, that's why I'm saying, like, you guys making those points don't make me feel some type of way, right? They make you look bad. That shit doesn't reflect on me. I'm part of that 54% of black men that don't have kids. I mean, if you wanted to say, oh, we have these problems in the black community, what's the best way to shut this down? To not participate, which is exactly what I've done. I don't participate in that. right? But you all do participate in that. And some of you all are just like, I don't know, you're like the defenders of women. You're a part of the 39% of black women that don't have kids, and you got to bust out the capes for all the single moms and shit like that. I don't know why you do that. You're only fucking yourselves up, you know? That's why a lot of these single moms with 2, 3 kids think that they're on par with you. Like, I don't know what y'all don't get about that when these women are able to sit up on panels and act like they're just as valuable as you, and you've exercised all type of copious amounts of discipline throughout your life to ensure that you don't get pregnant, and she's going to sit there and put herself on par with you when she's got 3 baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even making that up. Who's that chick that was on the fucking balloon popping show, and they just did a MHD what is it the the Manosphere highlights dude. He just did a video on the shit, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, the audacity of her. Hell, the audacity of everybody who's up there, because most of the people that were up there are parents. I'm with Captain Solo on that. I am sick and tired of fucking parents sit there and disqualifying each other, and then acting like, childless people are just chopped liver or that we just exist for their entertainment. Like, fuck them on that. But y'all be busting I'm talking to the women now. Y'all bust out all these capes for these women that heavily contribute to this problem. Once the child is here, he's here, and if he doesn't have any resources, then what? It's like the Republicans when they're like so anti-abortion. Oh, we hate abortion. We must shut down abortion, make it so that no people have abortions, right? Then when the kids get here, and it's like, okay, we need some after-school programs. Oh man, fuck that, not my tax dollars, huh? Weren't you the one that was like, every life is precious and we need to have more kids and all this other shit, right? Wasn't it? Even though they're really just talking about white people. But I'm saying, weren't you the one that was saying all that? Now, when it comes to building a playground, you don't want to do that. When it comes to after school programs, you don't want to do that, right? When it comes to, trying to ensure that there's a growing economy and economic opportunities for young people, you don't want to do that. I'm like, but then you're surprised that there's street takeovers. You're surprised that they take over, that the young people take over intersections and are doing donuts in a damn parking lot, jamming up traffic. You're surprised about that, right? Right? It's the audacity to be surprised when you've participated in something. Like, that's the part that kills me. So I mean, I don't know what else if as black women you're out here and you're getting with men that don't have any transferable skills. What do you think the community is going to look like? You're giving these men the ultimate prize. You're giving them their body. You're giving them your love. You're giving them your attention. You just assume they're going to do the right thing. No, no, like fucking all throughout the animal kingdom, males have to demonstrate their capability. They got to make the nest. They got to do the dance, right? They got to do the dance and whatnot, clean all the plants off of the ground. There's all type of videos on YouTube showing this type of shit. You know what I mean? The gorilla, he's got to fight off the other gorillas. The lion, he's got to fight off the other lions. The damn what the hell is it? The rams, they got to butt heads. You know what I mean? And then the one that knocks the other one out gets to fuck the female, right? Women are supposed to react to the winners, right? That's what they're supposed to react to. And I can see where women could get confused, like if a guy's a drug dealer and he's like making a whole bunch of money and he's got material wealth. I can kind of understand that, right? Even though that's short lived, I can get it. I can see it. I see that she sees the shiny things and she's going for that. But let's be real. The majority of y'all are not getting pregnant by dudes like that. Y'all getting pregnant by the dustiest dudes that ain't got nothing going on. And y'all ain't even trying to like go on pussy moratorium. Like, y'all not even trying to shut it down. Like, no, we grew up in poverty and I seen this and I need more from you before I'm gonna let you run up in all this goodness. There's just no discipline. There's just none. And women think that it's okay for them not to have discipline, and then the man to not have discipline, and then to blame all of the lack of discipline in that space solely on the man. Like, I'm like, why did you spread your legs? Oh, well, I mean, well, why did he run up in me raw if he ain't had nothing going on? But you knew he had nothing going on. Why did you spread your legs and let him hit it and then he didn't have anything going on? Like, that's a two-way. Both of you are sexually irresponsible. But to sit there and talk about, oh, the community and is this, that, and third, like, there's certain aspects 100% white supremacy's fault. I charge it to white supremacy. But then there's other aspects when it comes to the black people out here making babies. Making babies. It's not like white supremacy is standing behind you, pushing you into the chick, right? Or white supremacy is on top of the black woman, behind her while she's cowgirling, rodeoing the dude in the bed, and the white supremacy's got its shoulders and he's just pushing down on the black woman's shoulders. Like, that's not what's going on. Come on. you know and I get it, right? Sex feels good, and you're in a high stress environment, and you just want to release. You just want to get your jollies off. You just want to get a nut off, right? Right? I mean, that's what you want to do. I get it. I totally fucking get it. But why the babies though? You can get a nut off without creating babies. Why the babies? See, there's something else that's deeper there that goes beyond. This is, like, it's either you think, oh, that like you're just not that bright or intelligent. You just assume, and you're like, oh, well, he's gonna do the right thing when I get pregnant. And I'm like, he's never demonstrated it, chick. He's just fucking you. Yeah, he may like you and all that other shit, but just because you got pregnant, doesn't mean that economic opportunities are gonna fall out of the sky. We've talked about this before. He's like, it costs money to support a family. And then you get the women that, they don't even believe in patriarchy. They believe that they're gonna surpass him, and they think well, I got opportunities, and I got government assistance and all this other stuff. That's the whole problem with the whole welfare shit, because it makes women think that they're much more stable, than they really are, because technically speaking, if she's able to secure housing and WIC and shit like that, she is more stable than him if they're both living and operating and existing in poverty. She does have it more together than he does, right? But she doesn't have it together. And this is where it creates, a great level of delusion with many of these women, you see. So, it's just like, I listen to these women like say these things and file these complaints, and I'm just like, oh boy, man. I'm like, I don't know why you're surprised at the outcome of the community. You know what I mean? Like, this shit did not just start yesterday. You know what I mean? What you see in the community, the conditions of it didn't just happen overnight. This has been going on for a long time, and you all have seen this. Whether it's deadbeat dads or whether it's men not doing the right thing, but yet you're still having babies. I know, supposedly the birth rates have gone slightly down, even in the black community, but I'm saying by and large, no. The black men, black women have the largest gap between them and the parents, the male, the parental male counterparts in their community, of any community. Of any community. It's bigger than the Hispanics. Yeah, there's more percentage of Hispanic women that are mothers than black women. But again, you start removing the immigrants, and black women are at the top of the chart. Also, even if you didn't remove, the immigrant population, black women would still have a larger parental gap between them and black men than Hispanic men. There's a bigger, like, in other words, there's more Hispanic men that are fathers, that I think is like 50%, right, that are closer to that 62% for the Hispanic women than the gap between black men and black women. That 46% versus 61%. That's a 4.3 million parental gap. which only again goes back to the point that black women are sharing black men, straight up sharing them. This is how you end up with, Cam Newton got 3 baby mamas. Country Wayne got how many baby mamas he have? I think he's got at least 8. Freaking NBA YoungBoy, Future's got at least 8, You know what I mean? Desmond Hatchett with 30. What does he have? 33 kids, 11 baby mamas. I don't know if he has more. You know what I mean? But like y'all are sharing dudes, like legit sharing dudes. Men have far greater of a complaint why, they're single or why they don't have anybody in the black community than any other group of men. Because most childless men are not interested in single moms. The audacity, all that shit, all that bullshit that Oprah, and the numbers aren't available. The numbers aren't available. And then the ABC special, there's only 3 black men for every 100 black women that they, I think they took it down off of YouTube. The numbers aren't available. Nobody ever thought to ask, well, how many single moms do we have in the community? And, or just mothers in general. Everybody assumed that the mother to father ratio was 1-to-1. That if we have a black single mother in the black community, that we have a black father in the black community. That's how it works. So y'all niggas ain't taking care of your kids, right? And then you come to find out, like, no, it's more like, you got a bunch of, on average, you got a bunch of dudes out here that got more than 1 baby mama. More than 1. At least 2. And so, that just cuts into your numbers. Like I said, Dennis is one of them. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality of the shit. Some men end up having more women than others. And women, you all participate in that. If you wanted it to be 1-to-1, you can make it 1-to-1. All you gotta do is get with one man and stick with that man and as best you can, for the rest of your life. And it's, as opposed to thinking that you can go out here and exchange men like shoes, like that woman that was up there, on that balloon popping show talking about she got 3 kids by 3 different men. And that wasn't the only one. There was another one that was up there, and the brother was like, nah, that's all right. I could deal with you having 1 kid because I got a kid myself, but you got two more by 2 other different dudes. Like, I'd be the 4th dude. Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? And then the way that the women try to throw some Hoteptress magic on it. They try to throw some original woman, Earth Mother Goddess Gaia bullshit on it, and try to, a real man, I need a real man that can handle all of this, because only a real man can, come in with the shaming tactics and shit. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just messy. Aren't we a messy ass people? We're messy. And then you wonder why these other groups frown on getting with black people. We're messy as fuck. And again, who are the gatekeepers on sex? Women are the gatekeepers on sex. It's amazing how y'all talk about, feminism and how powerful you are as female beings and everything. And not only do you not exercise or wield your power like you should, you don't take any accountability for when you do wield your power and that you fuck up. Then you retreat back to being some sort of damsel in distress, a fainting Victorian virgin from the 1880s or the 1870s, and now all of us, I had no choice. Bullshit, bitch. You knew what the fuck you were doing. Bullshit. I swear, it's like y'all a gang. Is it y'all like that nigga that was beating the basketball player that was beating up that bitch in the fucking hotel lobby and shit? And then when he was in court and they gave his ass, I think it was 3 to 5 years. That nigga fainted in the court. He just slumped. That's y'all. Y'all be talking big shit. And then when reality slaps you in the face, then all of a sudden now you all fucked up. Now you all, oh, where's my hero? Where's my Superman? Somebody come rescue me. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You know what I mean? And this is the whole thing. Like, there are no men coming to rescue. You can shame us all you want. We ain't coming to the rescue. No, you are a liability. You know what I mean? Like, you need to, the economy's all fucked up. Motherfuckers ain't got resources for that. And then on top of that, you're like arrogant with it, and you got a bad attitude about it, and you got a disrespectful disposition about a situation that the other nigga had nothing to do with. And y'all be talking about what is, oh no, the only motherfucker that needs to focus on his son reading at grade proficiency is the nigga that you had the baby by. That's the only nigga that needs to really be concerned about that shit. That's the only one that you could, let me be more specific. That's the only nigga that you can really charge. That's the only one that you can charge with a crime. You can't charge anybody else. You know, so I'm just saying, like, y'all kill me when you come and you say shit that you think is in your defense and it's not. It's like the woman that, when I brought up that 61% versus 46% of, mothers to fathers, she was like, there are men that got children that they don't even know about. And she said that shit like that actually meant something. And I'm like, number one, this is over the course of a lifetime. And number two, why wouldn't the men know that they have a child? When your argument is like, in your argument is the idea that women always know when they have a child. Why wouldn't a black man be informed by a black woman that he has a child? Like, that says more about you than it says about him. And it's like, so what? All of a sudden, all of you are just simply not telling men about, the kids that they have? Like, nah, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. So anyway, I don't have much else to say. I'm just laying that shit out. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.